Hello everyone, welcome to the Captain Logan Show. It's me, Captain Logan, and joining me as always is my son and my co-host, chat moderator, Jason.
It's me.
What's up, Jason?
What's up, Dad?
What are we doing tonight, man?
We're playing Fix This Movie.
Yeah, it's America's favorite game show.
Yeah, so basically, you guys give us a movie or a comic or a TV show. And
mostly movies, but I'll do it with any media.
Yeah. And
that I've seen.
That he's seen, or that I've seen. I'll try to do my best, too.
Well, if anything comes out, and you know what? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Feel free to throw stuff at Jason that he knows better or at all over me. That's okay too. We could do some of those. Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's things that you give us a movie and then we give you our biggest thing that we would change to maybe make it better.
Yeah, one major improvement.
Yeah.
In some cases, I'm sure I'll find myself throwing out 2 or 3, but the idea is one major fix.
Now, do you think that
won't necessarily solve every problem? It's not going to be a pitch or a counter pitch. Mm-hmm. Entirely, like there might be a little bit of pitch baked in where it's like, okay, if you change this, how would you change this? But it's not going to be like, okay, this story was dumb from its inception. What's a totally different story? So you're not completely rewriting the thing.
Yeah.
You're working as I always do with story analysis and critique. You're working with what's there and trying to make it more effective, even if you think what is there was not the best idea you could have started with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that'll be fun.
So we're going to get right into that here in a second, and we've got so many ideas pouring in live right now. We had a bunch on Patreon. We had a bunch on the community post today that we're going to spend the whole 2 hours on this. So Jason had a segment. He's going to table that for next week. We had an end segment. We're going to table that for next time. Also, originally, we had planned to review the new Michael Jackson movie tonight, Michael. We haven't gotten to that because Jason's been, and I know it's been out 2 weeks already, but Jason had dance competitions 2 weekends in a row. Yep. Kind of ironically, because Michael Jackson's what got Jason into dance, and dance is what is keeping him from seeing this film.
Right.
So we want to do either a full spoiler cast on that or bake it into a Captain Logan show. So we will try to finally see that over the weekend, and then based on our experience with it, because this sounds like another very polarizing movie, especially with critics and audience. This is one of those like critics in the toilet, audience scores way up high. It's like they live on completely different planets. So,
which makes me scared that it's like a Mario movie, but you know.
So we have no idea what exactly that's going to be like for us and how much we're going to want to talk about it.
Right.
So we will talk about it, but it could just be a segment next week. I mean, like it could just be the lead-in topic, or it could be the whole show.
Yeah.
No idea. So anyway, extra segments we had planned for tonight we'll do next week or the week after. And as always, leave a super chat any dollar amount that guarantees that we will talk about your topic. But please keep it in this format. Tonight it is a suggestion of a thing for us to do our best to throw a fix at. That's what we're doing tonight. As always, we'll read the super chat no matter what it is, but we won't spend as much time on it if it's not about this kind of theme that we have this evening. We haven't done a theme show like this in a while. This is kind of like a Would You Rather.
I love these themed ones. They're my favorites.
These get a lot of fun. We'll see if my brain gets fried by the end of it.
Oh, it will. Mine is already fried. So.
All of these films. We've already got one super chat, so we will hit that first, and we're going to be prioritizing Patreon, and we'll get to as many pre-written ones as we can as well. I will rapid fire these as best as I can and try not to spend 10-15 minutes on them on each of them, because I know people are going to want us to hit a whole bunch of them, and we'll look at the ones that people posted on the community tab. We're not going to promise that we'll hit everything except for Patreon. We will hit all of those, and we will hit all the super chats as always, of course. Quick plug for Patreon, patreon.com/geekvolution. $2 tier lets you every month put in a question to be answered on the Captain Logan show in case you can't make it or you don't like leaving super chats. And I will also say, and I don't have this finalized yet, and I don't know what it's going to look like in its final form, but I am working right now, Jason, on finally channel memberships.
Nice.
And so Patreon will stay, especially because there are perks that I can do on Patreon that are much, much harder, if not impossible, on YouTube, because YouTube does not have a built-in like inbox feature. You have to go out to a third party to do a Discord or something, which is very obnoxious and difficult to deal with on YouTube. So I'm going to keep Patreon, and with channel memberships, there's only going to be a couple of perks, and they will be perks that you can already get as a patron. But in case you're a person that doesn't want to go out to Patreon and all you care about is extra content or request, those will be the two things. That's what I'm working on right now. Anyway, there will be 2 tiers. It'll be very simple. It'll be exclusive Patreon content. I'm gonna start doing a vlog thing. So anything like After Dark type stuff or the '89 commentaries. Will hopefully I can rig it up so that people with channel memberships will be able to look at that. That will be the same tier as Patreon, $1.99. You just won't get the extra Patreon perks, but you will get that. And then we'll have a $15 tier just like on Patreon for request, and that'll be it. But I'm working on that. No pressure. I don't know if there's going to be any takers, but I wanted to make that available for people that want to support us in that way, but don't like to go out to a third party. Mm-hmm. And now it's time for this topic.
Yes,
Let's get
which
started.
is called Fix This Movie.
Fix This Movie.
So $5 from Bob Garland. I wrote revisions to fix the 05 and 15 Fantastic Four movies. I also did a draft based on Shea Bond's 95 FF pitch. I would love for you to read them.
Okay. Cool. I mean, there's lots of ways you can improve that, I'm sure. And obviously, a lot of you guys are going to have your own ideas as well. So this was just a fun idea to try to pick my brain and see if I can come up with decent ideas. So, like, if folks have, simple, quick things that you want to throw in, especially a super chat, like, we'll read them. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through like every person's I don't want to open the floodgates and have like everybody send me their like fan scripts. You know what I mean? And obviously this puts your head in that place where it's like what's your pitch?
Yeah, well,
and like
I was
said,
gonna ask.
this is my idea with this was not elevator pitch. It's just how do you actually improve on that? So when he says like go back to an earlier draft and all of that, I want to look at it much closer as like the movie it currently is. What's like that one thing you could tweak to actually make that more commercially successful and more or a more effectively told story?
Well, and I wanted to ask you if you are gonna focus on story stuff or other stuff like casting or stuff like that.
I was gonna focus more on story stuff for the most part, but
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump to Patreon. We got lots of Patreon.
Absolutely.
This...
Thanks for that super chat. Gong
Yes.
time. This reverberates.
Hammock time. Victor, how would you make Batman Forever the perfect 90s Batman movie?
Well, Batman Forever is already the perfect 90s Batman movie. And by perfect, I mean you don't get much more 90s than that movie.
Right.
But as far as like the main thing you would change with that movie, and let me also say, and I'll try not to spend a lot of time on preamble and caveats and stuff, but with superhero movies, I will be a little predictable, and some of this you will have heard before, because of course I've reviewed all of this stuff and done a lot of commentaries on several of these movies, some of them more than once. So some of this you might have heard before. But the first thing that comes to mind with Batman Forever is just actually flesh out Two-Face and don't make him a goofball.
That's fair.
And let the Riddler be your comic villain, your comedic villain, and let Two-Face, like, actually place Two-Face straight, actually make him more menacing, actually get into his backstory more, and then the other thing, if I had to pick a different one that's not just tweaking a villain, is of course put back in the stuff that was deleted about Bruce's father's red book and his feeling guilty for his parents' death and all of that, which is missing and is like the crux of his character arc. Like the crux of his arc is completely gone, but that would not like it would improve the movie and like fix it on a story level, certainly, where like the thing would make sense now, like you would understand why he's doing what he's doing, but I would also love to see all of that fleshed out a great deal more than it even would have been if you put that back in, because you're talking about like 3-4 minutes of footage or less.
Right.
I don't know if that makes it more 90s, but I don't think you can make that more 90s. I think the way you can make it more 90s is put the Seal song in the film and not just in the credits. That's how you do it.
Yeah. I would make it even more Halloween-y.
Oh, that's good.
I would just full on, like, you know, it is...
It's a footnote that it's at Halloween.
Yeah. I want to make it, like, very... Not a scary movie, but more spooky.
What I like about that is... Batman Returns was full on a Christmas movie.
Right.
And they leaned into it.
Yeah, they
like,
did.
it felt like Christmas time, and there was this nice kind of twisted juxtaposition with that, right? Where, like, that's a weird, creepy, sometimes, like gross, scary movie.
Yeah.
And it's juxtaposed with Christmas time.
Yeah.
And thematically, that works really well with Max Schreck and all of that.
Right.
And then make Batman Forever your Halloween movie.
Yeah. And then Batman and Robin is Valentine's Day.
Perfect. Exactly. See, I was gonna throw a punchline in for Batman and Robin. I had not decided where I was going with it yet, and so I'm really glad that you filled that in. Okay, what's next?
Torn Jones.
Sorry, what?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Well, I did. Okay, I've done hours and hours and hours.
Yes,
on
you
this.
have.
I did like a 5-hour scripted rewind.
What is the one thing you changed about it?
Okay, if I could change anything at all about BVS, like if I could only change one thing, I mean, that's the hardest thing. I want to give you a top 10 list. Do you want to start?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Different director.
Well, okay, but that's See, that's not fair. This was this guy's vision. So
I
how could I
know.
help Snyder with his own vision? Uh, the the first thing that comes to mind is don't make it a convoluted make like Lex forces the two to fight plot.
Yeah.
Like, don't do the master manipulation plot. Make it simply Lex has a big evil scheme. He's got, this is not, again, rewriting the movie because all of this is in there already. He's got Doomsday, which is Zod, keep in mind, which is the corpse of Zod.
Yeah.
Batman goes to fight Superman on his own. Again, not rewriting the movie. Batman is worried that Superman is so powerful that he cannot be trusted and must be stopped. He goes to try to do that. There's this bigger threat in Lex Luthor and Doomsday. Batman has a point with collateral damage, but doesn't understand where Superman's heart is and that he really does care about people. He just kind of screwed up in getting so sucked into everything that was happening at the end of Man of Steel that he was not paying attention to the little people and kind of fell into the like holier than thou God thing for a minute. And so he's got to kind of take a step back and realize that Batman has a point with that. But then he has a point that he's needed. And then when he goes to fight Doomsday, he realizes that like that ends up being the what's the word I'm looking for? The representation of the repercussion of the collateral damage. Mm-hmm. That's the consequence of it, is that the guy that he fought to the death, who, and a bunch of people got killed in the interim, is now the source of the big threat that he has to fight. And so like he has to face that, its actions, consequences, its power, responsibility. So that's all you have to do is just take the thematic stuff that's already there, bring it to the fore, and then just not be so self-serious about the rest of it.
Yeah.
And so there is a decent story baked into that.
Yeah. Or you just replace Lex Luthor with anybody else.
See, I don't even have
know.
that. I like that it's Lex. I think you can do the Doomsday thing without it going all the way to Death of, although that's what they wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So if it's gonna be Death of, you have Doomsday again, who was made out of Zod, kill Superman as the universe punishing him for letting what happened happen, and then when he's eventually reborn, he becomes the Superman we all know.
Yeah.
Now, I don't love that as a creative choice, but it would ultimately work.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Okay.
Boy, there's no way to do that simply. Anyway.
Michael Martin, Return of the Jedi. I want to hear your thoughts on Return of the Jedi, because I know you have thoughts.
I don't have deep thoughts. So my thing with Return of the Jedi is I love Empire so much I never go back to it. I watch Empire like it's its own movie, which is ridiculous because like it's the second act of a 3-act story.
Yeah,
I understand that. You wouldn't really walk into that movie without seeing the first one, and it ends on a cliffhanger. But I hardly ever actually watch the end of it. I always just watch Empire because I love the tone and the feeling of that movie, and I find it endlessly interesting to like discuss and analyze. And I was surprised by how much meat I found in it when I wrote a story analysis on it years ago.
Yeah,
because I did it's not a superhero movie, but somebody requested I did a rewind on it back when I was writing those. And anyway, I think the reason I don't go back to Return of the Jedi so much is it kind of feels like just the clear, predictable ending.
Sure.
Now the culmination of the whole thing, like the actual climax with Vader and Luke and the Emperor, is certainly one of the greatest scenes in Star Wars. It by itself is brilliant, but I would maybe focus harder on that stuff and not have so many subplots happening simultaneously at the end.
That's what I was gonna say.
So I think that's not a change. With that movie, I wouldn't change anything at the beginning. I would simply restructure the third act.
Yeah, the third act is kind of insane because you're jumping between so many different things, and it's like, I don't know where I am.
I know this is a thing Plinkett's talked about, but it's like 4.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah. Now, this is mean of me,
Yeah.
but, I want Luke to be bad at the end.
Oh, interesting.
Just because that's me.
I don't. I mean, I feel like that's a character that has to be redeemed. And also,
He does, but...
do you know how completely cynical and pessimistic it looks if you go, Anakin Skywalker went bad, and his son also went bad. What are we saying here? Like, there's no point there's no such thing as heroes. We can't have heroes. Like, what's the? I mean, you could make the argument, and I'm not saying, and I'm sure somebody put the prequels in. It's surprising we're talking about this and not one of the prequels. But I'm not saying that you can't come up with great ways to make all 3 prequels more watchable, make more sense, not your roll your eyes at love story, etc., etc. Of course, but the argument could be made that there's not really, and this isn't fair, okay? I'm completely admitting this, but I'm trying to make a point with this. Because of Luke Skywalker's story, the Anakin Skywalker story, the way it's played, because I realized that originally, if memory serves, Lucas's first idea, like his first draft, was about Anakin Skywalker. If memory, I think the Star Wars has that character as a character, but with the way we end up going with it with the original film, that's all back matter. Like, there's not really a story there necessarily.
Yeah.
The argument could be made that there is like a potential great tragic story you could tell, I guess, but it all just serves Luke Skywalker ultimately. The point of all of it is to set this guy up to see will he or won't he go down the dark path, accept his dark side, etc. It's like his father did. That entire trilogy is a means to an end to get to the second trilogy.
Yeah.
Story-wise.
Yeah.
So it's by definition all back matter.
Right.
And anyway.
Okay, maybe I don't wish that he is bad by the end.
It'd be different if you started there, and then you'd be telling a totally different kind of story, and it would be like a tragic. And what's cool, what would have maybe been cool, this would have been so ahead of its time. This probably never would have happened. What could have been cool about Star Wars being Anakin Skywalker in the first place, and you think he's going to go down the right path, but he's actually corrupted by the end, would be, and like nobody would expect that. What you're doing with that is flipping the sci-fi serial thing on its head. You know, we all know the formula with this, and the whole thing is actually a deconstruction of that formula. That would have been the reason to do it in the first place. As it was, we went ourselves back around, and in a more complex and creative way than serials used to do it, we find ourselves in that formula.
Well, that's why I think, like, but that's why I think watching Star Wars in chronological order doesn't work because they didn't do that well.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
you know,
yeah. And
like,
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now, but yes, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe going back to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
The
real
ending.
quick, and then we'll move on to another one.
Yeah, maybe I don't think that he should have been bad by the end, but maybe I wish that he went a little bit further. Because he kind of goes back pretty quickly, I feel like, if I remember it correctly.
You don't feel like he seems tempted enough or for long enough.
Yeah.
Is there a doubt in any audience member's mind which way he goes in that? Like, just because he's wearing black at the beginning? He doesn't seem corruptible the way we maybe want to feel like he could be.
Yeah. I don't know.
So is that the big thing you would change?
That's the big thing I would change.
I mean, I like that.
A bit more susceptible to that.
Yeah.
Okay, this one I can't do, but you can.
Okay.
Elliot Slater, Ang Lee's Hulk.
Ang Lee's Hulk. So, quite simply, See, I want to say tone down the lime green, but I'm not going to say that. The and everybody that has heard me talk about this movie is going to probably know what I'm going to say about this. But this is another third act thing where what is happening with Bruce Banner and his father at the end, in the water with the like parasite sucking energy thing is incomprehensible nonsense. I have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what's going on. That climax needed to like visually make sense. I love that movie like thematically. I think the performances are really good. I would almost argue that everything up to the showdown with him and his father at the end works. And then if I had to pick something stylistic, I would maybe say I tone down the like multiple panel thing because it read sillier than it ought to. Although the last time I watched it, I liked that better, so I don't know. But
yeah, I gotta finally watch that movie.
But yeah, you should. I'd love to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think that's a more interesting movie than Incredible Hulk, but I think Incredible Hulk holds together better as a narrative. Certainly, they're both good.
Because I like that movie.
I mean, the Hulk is flawed, but I've got so much respect for it for how ambitious it is. And anyway. So I'm just reviewing these things again. Go ahead.
Kando Tour. Not sure if you've seen it, but Mickey 17 is a recent one.
I've not seen that yet.
Yeah, I didn't know if you'd seen it. I didn't.
I mean, I didn't get to that. That's not even streaming or on video yet, right? Like, isn't that still in the theater?
No, that was a year ago. A couple years.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Okay, no, I've not seen that.
Justin Hayes.
No, I was conflating that with some other movie. Apologies. No, I've not seen that.
Justin Hayes.
Yeah.
Star Trek Nemesis.
Don't treat your audience like idiots and try to retcon that Picard ever had hair. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
but that is
right.
That is one of the absolute stupidest things with that.
Yep.
Can I be a little bit ambiguous and broader on this one?
Yeah.
Because this is more of an attitude problem than anything. The approach that John Logan had as the screenwriter, and I don't know how much of this was his fault and how much of it was the studio. And I mean, like, Stuart Baird just came in and directed the thing and didn't know anything about Star Trek. So like, I'm not gonna blame any of the story stuff on Baird. I blame him for other stuff, but not story stuff. But anyway, John Logan came in and goes, Picard needs a con, and that's just fundamentally incorrect.
Yeah.
Those movies already had the action movie Picard problem, and Nemesis is dialing that up to 11. It's like the ultimate, final boss form of like awful action movie Picard, where he's just not that character anymore. Yeah. And it's weirder because it's like the older the man gets, the more of a crappy, like Bruce Willis action hero he becomes. Nothing against Bruce Willis. I just mean like a knockoff dollar store Bruce Willis he becomes. So the approach that needed to be taken with that is, don't try to rehash Wrath of Khan. Obviously, we already have that movie. It's wonderful. Like, take the right lessons from Wrath of Khan, which is not just do Wrath of Khan again.
Yeah.
But have an exciting, engaging, theatrical Star Trek movie that still has ideas behind it.
Yeah.
They tried to make that movie like they tried to give it a thematic crux like Wrath of Khan, which was about aging and mortality, and they tried to make it about human condition. And I mean, Star Trek's always about human condition, but the part of the human condition that says, why are we here? Well, to improve ourselves, which is kind of what Star Trek is at the core. So I kind of like we tried to make that the main thrust of the story. But the problem is, we did it in this really lame, generic way, and didn't have any fun with the clone aspect. So that movie should have been about the Romulans in the first place. So I would have gotten rid of the whole Riemann thing entirely.
Yeah.
It took me a bit to get to that, but I think maybe that's the big change I would make. Besides just don't approach it like Wrath of Khan the way they did.
Yeah.
A clone we just found out about of Picard is not going to be Picard's Khan. That's so dumb.
Right.
That's
Well,
not going to be anybody's Khan. And Picard already has a Khan. That's the Borg.
Right, and we did for First Contact. I feel like First
we already
Contact
did
is
that.
kind of
Actually, no. Picard's
rather
Khan was Q until Q kind of became his friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, you could make
We
the
should
argument
have had
that,
a Q movie, and I
Yeah,
don't know
of
why
course.
we didn't.
The argument for Picard's Khan is either Q or the Borg, depending on where we're at
Yeah.
in the show, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you got to make it an actual Romulan conspiracy plot.
Yeah, that would be cool.
What you do is this is kind of rewriting it, to be fair. But you started with, we've got a clone of Picard. Like that's the elevator pitch. Is like, it's Picard if he went bad in the in the first place, as he matured. Okay. It's a cool idea. It's a cool enough idea to say the Romulans created a clone of Picard to infiltrate Starfleet.
Yeah.
Then do that movie.
Yeah.
Why is that not the movie?
Right.
So that's what you do. You get rid of the Riemann thing and you make it actually a Romulan movie as it was purported to be.
Yeah. You know what I do?
Go back and look at all of the advertising for that movie and the logos and stuff. Like, the Romulan stuff is all over it. So make it that movie. I'm sorry.
Just take out the Doom Buggy.
Yeah, that would also help.
Yep.
And
That'd be-
B4.
Yep.
And that's the thing, is if you take stuff out, you have to replace it with something. And
Replace it with something not stupid.
Yeah.
That's all I. Yeah.
all right, what's next? Sorry,
Make
I
it
took too
some
long on
like
that.
dirt bikes or something.
Go. No. Go ahead.
Joe.
Hi.
The Phantom Menace. The Phantom Menace.
So very simply, the Phantom Menace needs to be about an older Anakin Skywalker. It has to not start so many years before Attack of the Clones. So this is going to be the antithesis of a couple of the earlier things we did in this show. This is not, and of Return of the Jedi. This is not you change the third act. This is you have to kind of start this thing from scratch. There are parts of that movie that you could rework into something that would actually look like the first act of the story you're telling, but you basically told a prequel before your prequel. And that was always the problem with that movie. You don't have an 8-year-old Anakin Skywalker. If you've got like you put Darth Maul at the forefront and you have your Naboo war thing, and I would say make it about something more interesting than the trade conflict or whatever, but you have your Naboo war with an Anakin Skywalker that is older and is probably already studying to be a Jedi, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of doing this convoluted thing of you gotta make him so overtly special in the first place that, like, he's not supposed to be a Jedi because he's too old, but don't make it so overly complicated.
Yeah.
Like, there were things about Luke Skywalker, like again, Yoda made a big deal that he was too old, right? So he was like odd to be trained as a Jedi, but there was no Jedi anything anymore, right? You want to make Anakin Skywalker your consummate, initially, best possible example of a Jedi. So he should not be a weird Jedi. He should be, like, obviously he's got, like, great command of the Force and everything. but at least from the start, he should just be like, your top everyman Jedi guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the main change the main thing I would change is I would age him up, and I would have that movie, even if it's more or less the same story that you're telling. That's hard.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one where I don't know how you tell exactly the story they're telling, because you started before the story started, so like you kind of need the Clone Wars to be the climax, like the beginning of it to be the climax of the first movie, not the second movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that gets tough. It gets tough to hold to my rules of how do we make like the story they're telling, because they're not really telling much of a story. That's part of the problem with that movie. It doesn't feel like episode 1, it feels like episode 0.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the opposite of what I said with the previous one, and I'm gonna say that it should have been a pod racer movie. Just the whole movie.
You make it a sports movie.
Yeah.
And it would still feel like episode 0
It would.
before episode 1, but that could have been
But I just want
that could have held together better as a
the whole
story.
movie did be the pod racer scene.
Well, and that's a better answer within the format we're trying to do with this.
Yeah.
Of how do you improve the movie so like I don't know how to not approach this as how do you improve that as a whole story? Like episode 1, 2 to 3?
Yeah.
But you're right if we're talking about just that movie.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
We have a $5 super chat from Senior Sticks.
That could have been a fun part. You know, can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised that with all the, I'm just gonna say this the way all kids are saying it these days. With all the streaming slop we've gotten for Star Wars, is anybody else surprised we haven't gotten the pod racing show?
That would have been awesome. Put
Well, it
Knuckles
might have
in
been. That's awesome. It might have been terrible, but
No, it'd be great.
I'm actually surprised they've not done that.
Yeah. Okay, $5 from Senior Sticks.
Yeah, thanks, man. What's up?
I just want to preface this. Try your best.
Oh, okay. You're not sure what he's saying?
No, but
We'll try. We'll do our best.
we'll do our best. Why are the ship saucer designs?
Yeah,
That's
okay.
his first question.
Why are the ship?
Yes.
Oh, no. There's no punctuation. He's probably just saying, why do we have saucers in Star Trek ships?
Yeah.
Or does he mean Star Trek ships?
That's what I'm guessing is Star Trek ships, because his next question is kind of Star Trek too.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
The second question is, if one replicates a glass of water with ice, as it is all the same substance, can you eat the glass too? If not, why?
Okay, well, I'll answer this real quick because it's not the format. It's not what we're doing tonight. But the answer to that second question is really easy. You're converting energy to matter, and you can convert it to any kind of matter you want to. So, yes, it's manufactured and it's like a process, and so if you make it, for instance, into hamburger meat, you're not getting authentic hamburger meat, but it more or less is energy that has been converted to matter that is hamburger meat. Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying? So like, it's not exactly the same thing. There's not a real cow. It's probably going to taste a little bit different, but you can't eat the glass because we didn't convert the energy into edible matter. We turned it into glass. Mm-hmm. So there's a metamorphosis that's happening with the matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like not all, I mean, you got your 3 stages of matter. Not all gas is the same kind of gas. Not all, do you see what I'm saying? Not all liquid is the same kind of liquid.
Yeah.
And like not all solid is the same kind of matter, is the same kind of solid matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then he just said why the saucer thing?
Because it's cool.
You'd have to go back and listen to Matt Jeffries talk about this, which I've done, but it's been a long time. There is a story behind how they landed on specifically that design. And keep in mind that spaceships in sci-fi serials and movies and things a decade before that, your alien spacecrafts were saucer shaped. And so we might have taken that and thought, well, there's actually a logic to like the aerodynamics of that, and then you just add nacelles to that because you need something that creates a warp field, and then you need the thing to give you the deflector, and you put those three things together and you get a spaceship. But I don't actually know if it's saucer shaped because of what we had been doing with science fiction ships before that. That's just my guess here in the moment. I don't remember what he said about that, but there is a story behind that. I just don't remember it here in the moment.
I gotta read more like Star Trek books and stuff.
There's tons of it. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I'm such a Star Trek fan is I've just studied the making of it for so long, because there's so much material in that, and it gives you a really good understanding of the history of the period around it, just the 60s in general, and then television in that period. There's a lot more of a study there than just the show that I like. And that's a lot of why I've spent so much time on that. But Jason, I would recommend starting with both volumes of the 50-Year Mission.
Yeah.
Because that's interviews with like everybody still alive. And you just learn a crap ton that way. Yeah. Really good audio books for those also. They did not bring in, of course, everybody. It would have been nice if they could have compiled together just the audio recordings. But maybe not everybody consented to be recorded. I'm not sure. But like those were all, sit down interviews with these people.
Yeah.
It's an oral history, so you wonder why you couldn't have just done it that way. But it's like 3 or 4 readers that are all reading the transcripts.
Cool.
And so like it's good. It works.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I could recommend Star Trek reference all day long, but
yeah, one
of course,
I'm interested.
You've got access to this gigantic library.
Because I haven't read those autobiographies either. And you just got one.
Yes, I just bought this yesterday. So here's the autobiography of Benjamin Sisko, which is the weirdest one title-wise, because Sisko can't write his own autobiography because of what happens at the end of DS9, and Jason's not watched that whole show.
What?
So I don't want to reveal what exactly happens.
I'm
not going to tell you what happens. Nobody tell Jason. I know this is like spoilers for a 30-year-old show. But Jason doesn't actually know what happens in the finale of DS9. No. But for everybody who knows what I'm talking about, this is not actually possible. And so, hilariously, it's...
Did he die?
I'm not going to tell you what happened. It is said that the autobiography is written by Jake Sisko, to which I say, how is that an autobiography? And then, so I've not read it yet, but as I flipped through it, a whole lot of it is like during, and this is true of the Kirk one and the Picard one also. I've read all of the Kirk one. The Picard one I've only gotten part of the way through.
Isn't the Picard one not as good?
I wasn't liking it as much, and that's why I've not finished it. It's a little cutesier. I don't like all the cute stuff at the beginning, but anyway, a lot of this is set during like his Starfleet Academy days and stuff, which kind of suggests that maybe he was writing his memoirs and then Jake Sisko edited them. Because it's all in the first person, so I don't buy that Jake Sisko is writing his dad's autobiography in the first person.
Ghost-written autobiography.
But
of Benjamin Sisko.
So I feel like in order to make this book happen, you have to finagle some way that it could be an honest-to-God autobiography, just because this has become a series, and this would be the only one that is the biography of Benjamin Sisko, and that would just be weird because all of the other ones are autobiographies.
Oh, that's so funny. The black and white picture just of Benjamin
Oh, yeah, it's
Sisko.
great. Yeah, they do this with all of them.
That's so good.
It's awesome. So there's 5 of these. I don't know if they're going to make any more. And I've not bought the Spock one because, unfortunately, and this is just my personal opinion, it is one of those casualties of New Track where it came out too late. And so all the background with Michael Burnham is in it. And I cannot bring myself to buy something that's infected with New Trek lore, because I just cannot see it as real canon. Personally.
Yeah.
Now I might buy it at some point, just skip those parts, but I have a tough time with that. And then the Janeway one I will get. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I was in a bookstore yesterday that had this, and so I went ahead and grabbed it finally. But anyway, I'm sorry, I've derailed us. Go ahead.
Daniel Davis, Catwoman.
Catwoman's a pretty easy fix. You simply make it... Now, this still could have been off the rails and kind of bad. Who knows? But immediately, Michelle Pfeiffer is a step up no matter what you do with it. So, all you have to do with that is just make it the spin-off of Batman Returns it was supposed to be in the first place. And then... You know, could you kind of tell the same story they did cookie cutter wise, where it's like, no, probably not, because I was gonna say it would be Selena Kyle is somehow back in the workforce and working for an evil cosmetics corporation that is making skincare material that ruins people's faces. And by the way, I don't know why they didn't just go Clayface with that, but whatever.
Weird.
Like, could you maybe sort of do that? I don't know. You wouldn't want to do that. She would be like on the run. I don't think she could really go back in the public sector and just work like that. So if we're trying to fix the story, it's still Patience Phillips, it's still the cosmetics, it's still the Merovingian cosmetics guy and his evil wife. This one's a bit of a stumper because I always like to say, and sorry, I'm kind of talking out two sides of my face because again, I was trying to approach this as how do you improve the material they have, but this is one of those places where and there's exceptions to every rule, where my rule of you can make anything work, you just have to make it work, kind of starts to break down because it's not an idea that starts from a creative place. It's so like generic and pathetic and like bereft of any creativity. That like could we actually improve on that? I don't know. Like, I would give that character... I'd make it not an origin.
Yeah.
If I'm stuck with the cookie cutter story, the overall, what's the one I'm looking for? Structure
I still need to see this too.
Of the movie they made, you don't redo the pushover, the pathetic pushover chick with a desk job that gets changed by cats and then grows a spine. Like, you don't redo that again. That's the thing they took from Batman Returns. They just did that again. Yeah, and they just made it an origin movie. So even with all of the cosmetic stuff, like, could you maybe make that the bad guy plot? I guess you could. And then let her actually be a thief in the first place. You know, like, maybe she breaks into that place to steal something and discovers this conspiracy going on and has to decide to try to take this corporation down instead of just profiting from it, or maybe tries to do both at the same time and put some actual Selena Kyle in the character, even if you're not going to call her that. I guess that's the best I can do with that.
Danaverse says...
And obviously you need a completely different costume.
Danaverse says, well, that and more coherent editing.
Yes, of course.
And Senior Sticks put in a $2 super chat.
Oh, thanks, man.
Says, the way to fix it is make her Vixen who has lore.
Well, then it's not Catwoman. I mean, like, they're not going to start with a Catwoman spinoff and then turn it into Vixen. Because the only thing they have is brand name recognition.
Right.
Catwoman was the most popular thing, arguably, about the Batman Returns movie. I mean, that's why they were going to spin it off.
Yeah.
And all they had at the end of the day was that title.
It
that
also
was
seems
and
like
that title's the only reason we still talk about it.
yeah.
Vixen could have been the worst movie you've ever seen, and nobody would be talking about it
Right.
now. Nobody knew what that was back then.
Right. Also, it seems like I still haven't watched it.
If
But-
Blade was the worst thing that ever happened, nobody would be talking about Blade now.
Yeah. We still like that I still haven't seen it. That movie seems like the most 2000s thing ever.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's what I would change about it.
See, that's like Batman Forever. It's like
Just
if
make it
you
90s.
say no. What I was gonna say is, but it's like that Batman Forever question. It was like, how do you make it the perfect 2000s? Well, it already is.
Yeah. It's just not a good movie. Okay, J. Neff.
Yeah.
Another movie I still haven't seen, and this one I just will never see. Ever.
Oh, okay.
Quantumania.
Oh, you just refuse?
Yeah, I just
to ever
refuse.
see Quantumania?
Yep.
Boy, where do I begin?
Is it MODOK? Is that...
No, because it was already off the rails before you got to MODOK.
Was it really?
Yeah, that is just the cherry on top.
Oh, no.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where you knew there was no hope. Like, at the point where that happened, you're like, not only is there no hope for this movie, there may be no hope left for the MCU. Like, that's the moment. I think Quantumania might have been the jump the shark moment for a lot of people that hadn't already kind of started checking out, just in general. I almost want to give a real broad answer with this one too, and just say, like, write a less cringy script. I don't know. Like, the idea of using an Ant-Man movie to, like, as a big event thing for the multiverse is counterintuitive, but, like, could have worked. You know, this notion that you already had an alternate universe of sorts in the quantum realm, even though it's not really that. You could have used that to your advantage and actually really tied it into the multiverse saga, made it feel like there was a real direction with that. You could have used it to really build up Kang and make everybody care about that character and get us excited about it and make it feel like we really were moving toward a Thanos. You'd have to put him more in the background probably. And of course that's what they were trying to do, and make him more exciting, make us care about him. And that didn't really work. So I don't know, that one, and I have not gone back to it. So like I'm real rusty on that one. I almost want to be real facetious about this and say, I'm struggling to come up with the creative change. Because again, this is almost an attitude thing. I almost want to say, like, no one on that movie, no one is allowed to work on that movie that has seen Ragnarok. You know, because I feel like the Watiti factor really hurt that one. That feels like another one of those to some degree. To me, I don't know. That one's tough.
Yeah.
Because, like, the idea of finally visiting the quantum realm and spending a movie there, I don't really have a problem with. It's just the way they did it was just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a little bit of a stumper for me because I kind of have to reinvent the entire thing. I don't know. That was just that one is an approach issue.
Yeah. Okay.
I do think it's really funny that two sort of Michelle Pfeiffer related projects came up in a row. Anyway, good.
We've got 2 more Patreon questions before we refresh. I think maybe we do those and then take a break.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay, Damian Wade Plus says, "No Time to Die."
Is that guy a
He's a streaming service.
a streaming service? That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah.
Can I say my answer?
Yeah. We'll see if it's mine.
Just make it shorter.
Yeah. It's just a little too long.
Just a little too long.
It's kind of bloated.
A lot of people hate that movie.
See, I liked it.
I love that movie. I really, really like it.
I just think you have to flesh out. I just think you have to rethink, I should say, the whole villain plot with the EMP.
Yeah.
Because the way it's given to us, it doesn't actually make sense that Bond couldn't have gotten out of that. I don't want to give too much away if you haven't seen that movie, but like I think he had an out with that. I don't really understand how the EMP thing worked. So that was a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
But overall, I kind of like that movie.
Yeah, and I like the villain. He's,
So
he's just a very Bond kind of villain.
I wouldn't change a lot about it. I would just make that bad guy plot make more sense.
Yeah.
Or not even the plot so much as the technology.
Yeah.
Just that with the sickness and all of that. It just didn't.
That movie has an excellent opening scene.
Yes, it does. No, it's awesome.
We haven't talked Bond.
It's chilling, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
Yeah, you and I have not talked.
We haven't really talked about. We should do a Bond series.
Well, you should do a segment.
I will. I want to be a big fan of James Bond.
You've not spent the time with
it, but I
yet.
haven't spent the time with it, so I will. Okay.
Jason owns a collection of really cool releases of the Fleming books.
Yeah, got a huge box set of it.
Jason's a big Casino Royale fan.
That's my favorite movie, that's my favorite book ever. The movie's pretty good too, but the book is incredible, and I need to read all of them, so the rest of them. So, okay,
it'd be really cool eventually if you could do a ranking of the books.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like, who on YouTube has ever done that? Like, I mean, I'm sure somebody has, but I'm just saying, like.
I know Austin did the movies, but
but who highlights the books like that? That'd be great.
Austin did the theme songs, and that's a really good video.
Oh, and yeah, you could do that.
That's a really good video.
You made a playlist a long time ago, and you've actually listened through those several times.
Oh yeah, I love those.
I still like the garbage one.
The garbage one is really good for like the worst movie.
We've got 4 minutes before the break.
Yeah,
was there any more Patreon? Okay, go ahead and do that.
Hot Soup also said Catwoman, but he said Catwoman and Dark Knight Rises. Oh, how I wish they were good.
Yeah, and of course, I've spent years and years trying to understand Rises, and have ultimately decided the fault. I'm sorry, folks that are fans of that movie. Is not on me with that. It really just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. I've tried and tried and tried. The main thing, there are so many things that I would change about Rises, of course. Like, that plot overall is just a confusing mess. And there's a lot of like motivation issues. But I can only pick one thing. So the one thing I would pick is very simply... Batman continues to have a career, and it's not an 8-year time jump.
Yeah.
And then you start from there.
Yep.
The Bane stuff could be exactly the same, and I already like the movie a lot more because Bruce Wayne... Well, there's so many other... I mean, obviously so many other things I could say, like, don't do the John Blake thing the way you did it, like, et cetera, et cetera. But...
I don't like the Catwoman stuff.
Say again?
And I don't like the Catwoman stuff.
No.
I just don't like that movie. So, me neither. Don't do that stupid fight scene with Bane and Batman. It's been so
Which
long.
one?
I think it just is the one where he breaks his back because
really?
it's so weirdly directed.
A lot of people, I think it is
like
too,
that?
but a lot of people that don't like that movie, that's like the one scene they like.
No, I'm laughing the whole time because I'm like, what is even... It's like the end of Harry Potter 5 where it's like, why'd you do it like that?
I like the idea of dropping out the soundtrack in that scene so that we've just got this like really visceral street fight. I mean, it's not in the street, but you know what I mean? That Batman's completely losing and he has no chance, and you're supposed to be like breathless watching it. Mm-hmm. But something about the production on that scene makes it feel like you're watching guys make a movie.
Yeah.
That was always my issue with it. Like I like it on paper. It was like I feel like I'm watching two actors making a movie. Mm. And then I have that again real hard at the end with the fight in the snow.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just review that movie again.
Yes.
One of the reasons that I've never liked the time jump, and I don't like that we I don't want to say retcon, but that we go back on the whole idea at the end of Dark Knight, like he can run because he can take it. Oh, I guess that was just for a single evening, and then he's just gonna go hide out for 8 years. That's so awkward. But Nolan wanted to definitively end it so that it's just a trilogy. And I always felt like the trilogy thing was real forced, and we don't have to continue forward. And you could imagine going forward with a John Blake, so that like it's all about the legacy, and it's all about Batman as a symbol. That franchise always was, Batman as a symbol, and it was always like the counter to the traditional comic book Batman. This is a guy that doesn't want to have to do this forever. Okay, so he made a movie where he doesn't have to do it forever. Could we at least have some off-screen history with the character? Can we at least get to imagine that he fought lots of his other villains before he hung it up?
Yeah.
Does it make sense that you do your version of Dark Knight Returns? Because that's what that movie is. It's Dark Knight Returns and Nightfall simultaneously.
Yeah.
Because he's coming back after so many years having not done it, and his body's in bad shape, and he can barely do it now. It's Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
If that's what you're doing, have you earned that? If the only villains your Batman has fought, the only major villains, are Ra's al Ghul, Scarecrow, Joker, and sort of Two-Face for a single evening.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all you get. Read a book. And then I guess you get Catwoman and Bane. But in your Dark Knight Returns story, it's really weird.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it'd be fun if it was that movie and you don't change anything except his bat suit is the BVS bat suit. Yeah.
Sure. I don't know how much that improves it.
No, it makes it so much better.
Okay, we'll get to Senior Styx's super chats after we come back from the break, and we'll get to more movies you guys want us to come up with potential fixes for in just a few minutes. So don't nobody go nowhere. Thanks a lot for being here, and we'll be right back. And we're back. It's time for the second half of tonight's Captain Logan show, and we're just going to keep doing what we did for the first hour. You throw us movies and other things you want to. It's all been movies so far, and we'll try to come up with the one major thing we would fix that might make the movie effective enough that we would appreciate it more now. And it's interesting that we've gotten a few suggestions we've talked about already, Jason, that are not like overall lambasted movies. Mm-hmm. Like, we've had some things that most people seem to like, okay, but somebody was like, I want that changed. I want something more exciting and effective than what we got with them. Mm-hmm. Before we get back into it, quick plug for tomorrow night's stream. We'll have, as we usually do, and this will finally be 3 weeks in a row for the first time in a really long time. Comic Book Late Night Unlimited at 10 o'clock, and it's a long show. We usually go 3 hours. We talk about the comics that are coming out to the next day, tomorrow, so Wednesday, and comics that we bought the week before, and we do a featured book. This week we're doing a special show. We're going to be reviewing the Superman Spider-Man, the original, the Superman Spider-Man one-shot. So anyway, look forward to that. And we're also going to be covering a bunch of stuff from Free Comic Book Day. And I actually got to the shop and got quite a few Free Comic Book Day comics. And so we'll run through those as well. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to this.
All right, we got a super chat, $2 super chat from Senior Six.
Yeah.
How would you fix Swamp Thing 1 and 2?
Well, thanks for the super chat. Unfortunately, I don't know what I would change about that, because I haven't seen the first one in a long time. I liked that movie fine when I saw it and did a rewind on it. And the sequel I've never seen. Still to this day, as obviously Austin and I will eventually get to that, but just here in the moment, I don't have a good answer for you, because I don't know that movie well enough. I saw it one time and for the rewind. I meant to say a minute ago, the special feature tomorrow night is for Jared Conway, because he just passed away.
Oh. Yes.
And so,
yes.
Yeah, so we're doing that, and we're doing a cover of the week that we handpicked this time, which is Amazing Spider-Man 129 First Appearance Punisher, which I may have talked about at some point. I can't remember. I actually own that, and that's like the most valuable thing in my collection. And so I feel like I probably talked about it at some point, but I don't remember. But that's a major Jerry Conway thing, and he has a great run on that. So we thought we would use that as an excuse to bring that in.
Yeah.
And Punisher's getting a lot of love right now. So.
Okay. Are you ready to get back?
I am. I want to apologize to Senior Sticks for not actually being able to answer that. But I don't remember enough about that first Swamp Thing movie to tell you what I would change about it.
Senior Six says the thing that he would change about it is Swamp Thing needed a catchphrase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like another time to eat your vegetables.
So it's just not silly enough, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Moving right along.
Okay. Ooh, this is good.
Okay. All right.
You
got a look on your face that says something's juicy.
We're outside of the Patreon questions now.
Okay, cool. So we're going to community tab.
Yeah.
And jump back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, make sure we get some pre-written ones now. We've had a ton all through the show, and we want to make sure that some of the live viewers can get in here as well. Again, Super Chat guarantees it, but we'll make sure to get some of the pre-written ones also.
Yeah.
You guys are great. Thanks for all of the interaction tonight. Go ahead.
Okay.
I can't wait to find out what this one is.
This one, you know what? Actually, this one's juicier.
Wow.
Because for me, it's for me.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't even know what I'm going to change. Okay, great.
Yeah.
The later seasons of Lost.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's really hard not to just say have a plan.
Yeah.
Like, that's all.
Yeah.
Make the answers to everything something more concrete than light in the middle of the island.
Yeah. I think maybe the big thing.
Decide if you're science fiction or science fantasy. Like, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think the big thing is just like, don't do all the stupid prequel Man in Black stuff. I think.
See, I want to say just do that well.
Yeah, I think the Flash Sideways stuff is actually fun. It's complicated as all get out, but and also maybe like it's been so long. Don't make the smoke monster shapeshift into
John Locke. Okay, so can I tell you what I was going to say about the smoke monster? Because I think the smoke monster is kind of the key to the success and failure of that show in a way, because that feels like your big bad or tied to your big bad, where you're like, whatever that is, tells you what the big threat of the whole show is. And I think Lindelof and that team was so afraid of, because again, they clearly, the mystery box thing, they clearly had no clue where they were going, or put their tail between their legs when somebody called it. My theory has always been they had to come up with something that nobody on the planet thought of. And so, of course, it's really dull. Like what they should have done was not worry about that, and just, if some people figured it out, good for them.
Yeah.
Like, just tell your story.
Yeah.
Like, who cares if what's the worst that could happen? A few people go, it was predictable, I called it. Well, not everybody would have called it.
Yeah.
There were lots of different theories. Okay, so
nobody could have called.
So no, nobody could have called it because roads weren't leading there, and it was dumb. That's why. Okay, so it's hard for me not to say, here's a theory that made more that people had that made more sense, so you should have gone with that. But my big one is, and yes, this is rewriting the thing. What are you gonna do? Because you're basically saying, how do you improve on a story that they wrote by the seat of their pants and didn't have a plan for? Well, you have a plan for it, which means you have to change the whole story at some point, up to a point. And I think up through like season 4, you're probably okay. You know what I mean? And by the way, there are shows, and I've said this a million times, there are shows that are written more by the seat of their pants that look like there's more forethought and they know where they're going. And it works because they're smart enough, they know their show well enough that they don't contradict anything. And like, you can do that. Breaking Bad did that. It can be done. And like, I kind of forced myself in a corner where I had to write Spawnier that way. Now I'll let the audience that watch that decide if I pulled that off, but I'm just saying, like, I can sympathize with feeling like you're backed into a corner. You have to write it like that.
Yeah.
The big thing I would have changed that would make that the whole last couple seasons different is reveal that Ben was controlling the smoke monster.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hugo.
Do you remember the secret room with the stupid lever that's really heavy and stuck and you have to push and it moves the island?
Yeah.
Okay, when he first runs off to go into that secret room that we don't know what it is...
Yeah.
Do you remember what happens immediately after that?
No.
The freaking smoke monster shows up. And I thought he had an apparatus to control it.
Yeah. But see, you called it so that it wouldn't work.
Yeah. So I don't know where you go with that, but I think that's immediately more interesting and compelling than what they had, where the smoke monster is like like you said, a shape-shifting entity that's actually like self-aware. And no, you make it not a monster, but a like controlled force of nature.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever it ends up being.
And then makes it more science fiction.
Yeah, but like, start with that.
Yeah.
Tie it somehow to the reason the island travels. Tie it to the time travel.
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing has got to be some kind of like time-space anomaly in the middle of the planet. Anyway, go ahead. I apologize for the majority of the audience that does not care about this. Go ahead.
I love that show.
I know.
But it's so flawed. And it's like, I don't think... Like, I started going back through it again with Mikey, and we gotta continue it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go through season 6. Because it's just so bad.
I don't know how you commit, though, to going that far and not sticking through it.
Because season 5 is so good that it's just like... You just stop there.
Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, sorry. Braden Atkinson.
Literally no one has commented the entire time we've been talking about Lost.
Yeah, Senior Six said pie.
Bye. All right, go ahead.
Braden Atkinson says Spawn.
The movie.
Yeah, I'm guessing, yeah.
Okay, we'll just do the movie then. I mean, this is another one where you want to just... You want to just say, go with a different villain plot than master manipulation, whatever is going on with, like, the bomb in Wynn's stomach thing. I appreciated the attempt at giving Helen Malbolgia a real plan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Braden says he means the comics. Okay, I can go to that in a second. But if I can only change one concrete thing, because then it's like, what do you replace it with? With that movie, it would simply be let Jessica Priest come back as a Spawn in the third act and have the Spawn versus Spawn fight.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because that would at least be more fun than what we get in the third act with some of the worst forced edited stuff to put story points on screen that were not scripted. Like it's awful. And it especially watches weird now because we've made Jessica Priest She-Spawn in the comics. So this was before she was ever a Spawn, but now she actually is, and has her own book, and has for a while. Mm-hmm. Her design is kick-ass, by the way. She looks great. I've not read any of that, but I love the look of it. She looks really cool. I think her book is...
She looks really cool, yeah.
Scorched or something? It starts with an S, I forget. I don't know why they didn't just call it She-Spawn. I also don't know why this future Spawn book is called Rat City, but some of the titling has been a little bit odd. I mean, I guess the whole thing takes place in Rat City. I don't know. As far as the comics go, I talked about this a ton in Spawn Year. The vague, broad answer, Jason, is give us an actual concrete lore and rule set for how Hell and Hellspawns work. Mm-hmm. And more of a concrete plan for what Malbolgia wants to do with Al Simmons. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's kind of, I mean, that's the boring answer. That or but I feel like you have to have that with what I'm about to say also. So like, it's hard to just pick one with Spawn, of course, but maybe the more important thing is just make him a proactive character.
Yeah.
Who's not just moping all the time. Because it feels like McFarlane thinks that he has an excuse to waste everybody's time with how decompressed those stories are, mm-hmm. with how long it takes to get anywhere, because he's got a protagonist that's not forwarding the narrative himself. And so he needs to be doing that. He needs to forward the narrative. It's ironic, by the way, that Brian Michael Bendis, who is the biggest name in comics, most infamous for decompressed storytelling, came in and wrote the best stuff in the Spawn universe with Sam and Twitch, and that's how he got his start in comics.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Just wanted to tack that on there.
Daniverse says, well, how about McFarlane doesn't write any of the books?
Yes, of course. I'm trying to go with like story and creative choices. And again, trying to deal with what's actually there on the page and how I can help the people making it make it better. Mm-hmm. But that is the correct answer, of course. Yeah. Is McFarlane writes it. And let me also make this statement about Spawn real quick before we move on.
Okay.
McFarlane I've always said my favorite artist, my least favorite writer. That doesn't mean he shouldn't have had any control over the stories of his
He
of his
just
book.
shouldn't have written.
He just shouldn't have actually written them.
Yeah.
Let McFarlane create characters. Let him throw out thematic ideas. Let him even give you pitches for, especially for one shots, one off stories. Those are his best ones.
Yeah.
When he would just do a single issue that stands alone, they're much better.
And keep him in charge of the toys.
Yeah, sure. But you and I had this conversation in the car today. I think just today or yesterday. McFarlane is really good at character creation. One thing you cannot say about Spawn is that most of the characters are horribly generic and unmemorable. Like they become real one note and sometimes archetypal, and the kind of choices for what the characters are all about is sort of obvious. But like Tremor's a great design and a pretty cool idea. Clown turning into Violator, that always sticks with you. Malbolge is a good design. Like Freak, like we remember all these characters if we've looked at Spawn at all.
Yeah.
And so like I wouldn't want to say don't let McFarlane make up any characters or make up any stuff. And I said this during Spawn year. It irks me because he had good ideas. He just can't write. It irks me going back to the animated Spawn show with those openings where McFarlane is explaining to you thematically what the stories are about, because he's got some good ideas in there. And he's got some good potentially character-driven ideas in there. And you listen to him talk about what he thinks the stories are about, and you go, well, I wish that's what it was. I wish what you're saying now is what it actually was.
Yeah.
So he just needed to collaborate. I would go as far as to say he could have been the showrunner of his own book and let somebody else write the actual the actual dialogue and decide the pacing of the events.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay.
All right, moving right along.
I have a challenge for you.
Uh-oh.
So this one, you have to keep it to a story thing.
Oh, man. And then we'll do the super chat.
Yes.
Okay.
This one, you have to keep it to a story thing and not do anything relating to people. Braden Atkinson says Star Trek Discovery.
Ooh. You got to keep it to a story thing? And I can only pick one?
Yeah.
It's so hard. Okay. This is going to be a little bit of a cop-out, but hear me out.
Yeah.
Don't kill Giorgio. That's the answer. Don't kill Giorgio in the pilot. Mm-hmm. 2 reasons. We all love that actress. She's great. We all also, if we watched that show, I would assume most of us hated her as Mirror Giorgio. And the Mirror Universe stuff is where that show most really jumps the shark, because that's where you go, well, now wait a minute. I've said this before, but it already felt like we were in a dystopian Star Trek universe. Comparatively anyway. Mm-hmm. And then you go to the Mirror Universe where it's supposed to be even more horrible and dystopian.
Yeah.
And you go, there's no contrast whatsoever.
Right.
If you don't kill Giorgio, you would maybe never go to the Mirror Universe in that show. Now, you've also got your spoilers for that show, but you've also got your captain who turns out to be from the Mirror Universe. Maybe you still would have done that. I don't know. But like immediately, the whole thing is less cringeworthy if you don't have Emperor Giorgio.
Now I thought you would have said,
and
don't go to the...
She would get, but also you wouldn't have him maybe because maybe you would keep her as the captain and like she and Burnham, as much as possible, actually kind of had a little bit of chemistry together. And so if she had been your captain through the show, you might have had something there. And like maybe you would have ended up not wanting to do the mutiny thing and all of that, and the mutiny made no sense anyway. But anyway, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
I thought you would have said, don't have them go to the 31st century or whatever.
No, I okay, if I had to pick something else, because again, you said story things, so I feel like I'm kind of stuck with the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah.
If I can jump ahead like that, though, if with all sorry, because I'm just thinking about the start of that show,
Right?
Because I think you have to change that show from the ground up. I mean, how can I do that from what they have? If I can do it with all that hindsight,
Yeah.
not like knowing where all they'll go. No, opposite. Start in the 31st century because it feels like it took you 2 seasons to get to what the premise of the show should have been. But when you go to the 31st century, don't do the stupid burn because it's stupid. But actually go forward in the whether it's 31st or whatever. Go forward in the first place.
Yeah.
Because then you're not stuck with stupid prequel crap where you have to, at the end of your second season, I kid you not, this happens, have somebody get on a comm and read down a list of things that no one is allowed to talk about so that it won't ruin canon later, even though you already have anyway with the spore drive and all of that. But it's like, here are things no one's allowed to talk about just so the fans can't go, well, hey, wait a minute, how come nobody talks about this? No one's allowed to talk about the Mirror Universe, Eric Burnham, the Spore Drive, like there's this whole laundry list of things. It's so hilarious how hand-waved it is.
That. I've still only seen one episode of Discovery. And
have you even seen one? What was it? Did you just watch part of the pilot? Or?
No, it was early first season. But I was like 9. I don't know why you made me watch that at 9. But,
I'm sorry. I don't remember doing that. That is tantamount to child abuse, and I apologize.
No, I'm kidding. $5 from The Killer Moth Strikes Back. I don't know why I gave him a the. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, the movie.
The game.
No, he's saying the novelization.
The sweatshirt, the bed sheets.
He's saying the book also sucks, but that could be fixed by giving Crichton a limit on how many college theses he's allowed to shove in.
Sorry, that wasn't loud enough.
That is the correct
college theses he's allowed to shove in. Yeah. What do you do with Lost World? That's tough because that movie feels so like, well, this was popular, we need a sequel.
Yep.
It already feels really obligatory, and like, what do we even do with this?
Can I say just not make it and just go to Jurassic Park 3?
Oh, sure. I mean, and that's what Austin would say, I'm sure. Yeah. What I want to say is lead with somebody has gotten the rights to InGen stuff and is trying to build a park in San Diego, and like bypass all of the stuff about going to Site B and all of that, and just like open it with, we're gonna do Jurassic Park again, and everybody already knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
That would maybe be interesting.
Could you like mix 2 and 3 and just like make it dinosaurs in a city, but make it Alan Grant?
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing I was gonna say is still have Alan Grant be the lead in it.
Yeah.
Or bring him and Malcolm both back.
Yeah, put both of them in there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be fine.
I mean, if you're stuck with Site B and like I can't change that, then I would simply say, don't do the family drama with the little girl and leave her bag.
Yeah.
That would help a great deal. But like a lot of the problem with that movie, like it's a lot of it is pacing.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about that movie. I feel like
it's kind of hard to give you the one story thing to massively improve that movie, because I feel like it could be rewritten as it is and be a lot more entertaining. And it's hard to tell you what that is without just doing it. You know what I mean? It's like just write it better. I don't know what else to say. Is just write it better.
And I know you don't love the idea of Jurassic Park sequels anyway, so.
Well, I want to. It just
there's never been a good one.
There hasn't been a lot of justification for it so far,
right?
With as many of them as we've had. It hasn't turned out to be that franchise worthy. Because the problem is it's such a one and done idea that all you can do. Jurassic Park in a really, really weird way ends up with, this is going to sound like a weird point, but almost the same problem that most franchises have with prequels, which is there's just no story left to tell, so we have to go backwards. Mm-hmm. With Jurassic Park, there's no storytelling left to tell, so all we can do is aftermath. So it's not Jurassic Park anymore. There's still some dinosaurs around. What do we do with that? But is it Jurassic Park? I mean, it was smart to put Lost World up front and put Jurassic Park smaller because it's not really about a park. Even though built into the story is some people trying to make that happen again. So that's at least still in there.
I did it.
What?
If I did it.
I'm not touching that. Moving forward.
5590ers. Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Yeah. Well, we already fixed that. We put Coolio in it. That solved the whole thing. The correct answer is probably do an Electra that's more off the page.
Yeah, I think
that's probably the answer. And I liked her at the time, and I hadn't really read a lot of that character, and so I just didn't know any better. But that's probably the right answer. And let her actually be an assassin from the start.
Yeah. Bruce Johnson, Power Rangers, 95 and 26.
I gotta do them both?
Yeah, you gotta do both.
Okay. The answer with 95.
95 is really easy.
Go ahead.
Well, actually, they're both easy. They just morph earlier.
Yeah.
With both of them.
Well, let's get into this for a little bit with 95 though, because if your story has to be they lose their powers and they need to get new ones, how do you keep it engaging with that first movie? Because you have to have a period where they're not morphed. Mm-hmm. And so is the answer make it a little more character driven and actually give all of those actors more to do?
That would be great.
Of course. It's almost like 95 needed a little bit of that character stuff that 2017 would have infused in it. And 2017 needed more of the fun that 95 had when it was actually doing Power Ranger stuff.
Yeah.
If you could blend those two movies, you have closer to a perfect Power Rangers movie.
Yeah.
They don't sound blendable. I get that.
This isn't a story thing.
But just the spirit tone. Yeah.
But with 95, you just don't make the Megazord fight CG.
Well, sure. Yeah, of course. There's a lot of real flawed stuff with that, but if we're just talking about the story of it, I'm trying to figure out how you could still make it about we lost our powers.
Yeah.
Because you kind of still need some more action in it. One thing you could maybe do, maybe this is going to sound ridiculous, but you already have that problem of the only one that really matters is Tommy.
Yeah.
So why don't you steer into that and say something about the creation of the White Ranger powers makes it disconnected from the other powers, and somehow when the other 5 lose their powers, Tommy gets to keep his. and he stays behind, and he's actually fighting Ivan Ooze on his own until they can come back, and then you can jump back and forth between them, and you can still have Ranger action. I'm just thinking, like, is there a way? I mean, like, I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But you can contrive anything in Power Rangers.
Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like you need a way to still have some Ranger action in it. Or I don't know, let I want to. It's not Delphine. What is her name? Dulcia. Let Dulcia maybe come back with them and do more. I don't know.
Yeah. Make Dulcia a Power Ranger. That's what I. Yeah.
And then with 2017, the big thing for me is like actually give it some lore.
Yeah.
And don't be so completely generic about everything. We're like we never even mention Eltar. It's ridiculous. But no, here this is probably the real answer. And I realized that if you did this, you could, if you don't structure it right, you could end up with not just a long time before they morph, but like no action at all. But it never made sense to me that the powers are disconnected from the suits. They're Power Rangers. What is the point of morphing? Oh, just so they can be protected? It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, so they're not allowed to be protected until their heart's in the right place. Yeah. But they are allowed to have these massive superpowers where they could rule or destroy the Earth if they wanted to. Well, that makes sense. Well, why doesn't the Morphin Grid have it set up where they can't even use their powers unless their heart's in the right place?
You know why?
That's what the morphing should be about.
You know why it's not like that?
What's that?
It's just Chronicle.
Because it's just Chronicle, yeah. No, exactly. Well, and it's because they want to do the generic, or the, I should say, formulaic superhero movie thing that starts in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, which is you get your powers, and then you have to have that awkward period where we watch you trying to figure your powers out. That's not Power Rangers.
Right.
That's the antithesis of Power Rangers. If you morph, you know how to do everything.
That's actually that's true. That's maybe my least favorite thing in superhero movies.
Yeah, I don't care for it either.
And you know what?
And it's oddly handled actually better in Raimi's Spider-Man than some other things.
It totally is.
But
and I think it's handled really well in Amazing Spider-Man. But you know what does it the worst? Fantastic Four, the 05 movie.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Well, that's because it's the whole movie.
It's the whole movie.
We get our powers. Well, because they made it a sitcom.
Yeah.
We get our powers, and now we have our powers, and there's hijinks, and that's the whole
Honestly,
movie.
If that movie had a laugh track, it would be watchable, I think.
I think maybe your first act plot point in the 2017 movie is not we found the power coins, but it's we figured out how to morph. Yeah. I think you find the power coins in the first 10 minutes, and you spend the rest of the first act learning to care enough about each other that you can morph. And then you tell a cool, engaging story with Rita and your villain plot. Mm-hmm. And you also, and I know now I'm throwing out multiple answers, but the other thing you'd have to do with Rita is you'd have to, with the morphing thing, is you'd have to have they're finding the coins or they're figuring out how to morph connected directly to the fact that she shows up when she does.
Yeah. Also, actually have them fight in the Krispy Kreme.
Well, sure. Or maybe on the roof of the Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be fun. Well, you know what the original series would have done? There'd be a donut food fight.
Yes.
In the Krispy Kreme, you know.
Yeah.
And also, you'd have a donut monster.
Right.
And that would have been actually pretty kick-ass. Could you imagine?
Anything would have been better than what they did.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Now, I realize that movie is taking itself seriously enough that it would not have probably done this.
Yeah.
But at least Ranger fans, let's forget everybody else, but people that just already like that material and like the goofy stuff, do you think you could have, you would have turned around fans that were irritated about the Krispy Kreme thing because it was too much product placement. If only Rita creates a giant donut monster in the third act. Do you think that would turn everybody around? Your product placement is an actual Krispy Kreme donut that fights them at the end.
That's a very Mighty Morphin thing to do.
It sure is.
That'd be cool. I'd love that. No, I mean, if they understood Power Rangers, that's totally what they would have done. And,
And they changed the name of it to Krispy Kreme Power Rangers.
No. Okay, never mind.
I was just kidding. Go ahead.
No. That wouldn't work, though.
Well, no, that title's horrible.
No. I'm saying you can't do it if it's Rita.
Why not?
But you do it if it's Zed.
Oh, because Zed has to have, like, biomatter to create monsters out of.
Zed turns things into monsters.
Yeah. Or actually, it's not even always biomatter, is it? Because he'll make, like, a guitar monster.
Right.
I thought there was a thing early on about how it had to be, like, life or something. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
No, he just turns everything.
But you're right. Rita's got Finster, who just makes stuff out of clay. And then Zed will be like, here's a purse, and I'll make it a monster.
Yeah. Dude, I would have loved to see what Zed, like 2017 Zed would have been like. Probably would have been horrible, but I just want to know.
I'm kind of glad a sequel didn't happen, because I saw the concept art, and oh my god.
Really?
Yeah.
I never saw that. I gotta watch.
Assuming it was real and it wasn't, somebody making something up and claiming it was I'm pretty sure I've seen real concept art for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look for that and show it to you later.
Okay.
It's just overcomplicating it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, Snyder looking at Superman and going, well, that's too simple.
Yeah.
Like, what can we do to make that symbol hard to draw? Kind of did that with Zed. Anyway, Snyder did not do that to Zed, but that's kind of what happened with Zed.
Okay, but
Zack Snyder, how dare you screw up my Zed?
Be pretty cool.
You think so?
Yeah.
With his, like, edgelord bro dude kind
of
thing.
No, and you just never. It's like you don't even realize it's a playground until like 20 minutes into this fight scene
because he's not establishing anything.
Right.
That's great.
Okay.
He keeps shooting under the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
And you're like, what am I looking at?
Anyway, 4 hours of Power Rangers. Braden Atkinson.
4 hours of
Braden Atkinson.
Yeah.
Fix the Clone Saga.
Oh, just all of it?
Yes.
Well, I mean, like, the obvious answer is it's a year long, not 5 years long or whatever it was. I don't know if I would have felt this way at the time, or if this would have actually worked out for the long term. And I imagine eventually it would have been retconned. But, like, if you're gonna do it, like, do it all the way and let Ben Reilly actually be the real Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like, I hesitate saying that, but oh my god, what is the point if you're not doing that? If it's gonna go that long. And like, then there would be no reason for it to go that long.
Yeah.
As part of it. It just wouldn't be as convoluted. But yeah, I have an actual big status quo shakeup like that. And the way I do it is I'd make it an identity thing, of course. I mean, it already is. But, like, what I'm saying is I would make it the question of, like, what really makes you yourself, and where is your soul in all of this. And so the point of the story, and so I'm making this more of, like, I mean, like, that is a solid story change. He's the actual real Peter Parker. Like, the Peter Parker we've been following has been a clone from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Going all the way back to the 60s. Like, absolute blasphemy, right?
Right.
But the point of the story ultimately would be, so what about that?
Yeah.
So you don't make it, well, he's the clone, so he has to go off and change his name, and Ben Reilly gets his real life. What you do is you let the Peter Parker you've been reading all this time stay Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And the real one is Ben Reilly, who goes off and is Scarlet Spider.
Yeah.
And you go,
pretty cool.
Well, he gets, yeah. I mean, think about it. In TNG, Thomas Riker did not show up and get to take Riker's place.
Right.
They were both the clone. Neither was the clone, because they were duplicated at the same time in that transporter accident. And so, the only reason the Will Riker we know got to keep his life and be the real Will Riker is because he's the one that made it to the ship and has been living as Will Riker this entire time. Yeah. That's the only reason he got that. Do that with the Clone Saga.
Yeah.
And say they're both Peter Parker and neither is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what I would do with it.
Yeah. Let's do one that you like.
Oh, interesting. I'll probably be like, I don't want to change this.
I feel like there's maybe at least one thing that you would change.
Okay, I'm excited. What is it?
Mattel, X-Men.
The first movie or the whole
first movie.
Kit and Caboodle?
The first movie, 2000.
I'm having a hard time not throwing out joke answers. I'm saying let Sabretooth say something. Let any of the henchmen say something. I'm thinking, because I mean, everybody knows my big criticism with that movie, which is it kind of feels like it's just set up and you didn't. The real story is X2.
Yeah.
I mean, just if it is just going to be a consummate setup film, then spend a lot more time actually establishing all of your characters. Mm-hmm. Lean into TV pilot and let us actually get to know these people. I mean, the more I'm thinking about it, my real answer is probably give Cyclops as much weight as Wolverine has. That's the answer. Let him really be the leader of his team. Make me really believe in his irritation for Logan and his love for Jean, because it all reads really, really surface. And if you have to have that love triangle, make me believe everyone involved and that it's not just obligatory. Well, we have to have a love triangle.
Yeah. I
don't know. I'm giving multiple answers, but I think that's what it is, and this is more of a what do you focus on more than what's the concrete plot point change, but it's just make Cyclops and Wolverine. Oh, okay. No, here's what it is. Because I was going to say make Cyclops and Wolverine dual protagonists, but you already have that with Rogue, and it works. Rogue and Wolverine really are the dual protagonists of that movie. And I mean, she is, in a weird way, ultimately the MacGuffin by the end, and is kind of the chick the hero has to save, even though it's not a love interest. And I kind of like that part of it, where they keep saving each other, and they keep hurting each other and saving each other in weird ways. Make it TOS. It's a trifecta. Cyclops is the third person on that triangle.
Yeah.
And you make it Cyclops' movie as much as Rogue and Wolverine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he's the leader of that team.
Yeah.
And maybe that's weird when you have a love triangle that doesn't involve the other female character that's on that. But I like that none of them in the trifecta, the stories about our lovers, because that was a problem with Enterprise.
Yeah.
Because Enterprise, and I'm sorry, I know I'm going to Star Trek now, but Enterprise was trying to go back to TOS and go, we have a triad like Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. Our triad in Enterprise is Archer, T'Pol, and Trip Tucker. And they paired off Trip and T'Pol, and it ruins that. You can't do that. You can't have lovers on your trifecta.
Yep.
On your triad. Because it's not a love triangle.
Yeah.
It's a character triangle.
That's the one thing I change about Enterprise.
I mean, I would change many things about Enterprise, but that's one of the big ones, is don't have that stupid love affair in third season.
Yep.
Anyway.
Also, okay, you know what I would do in Enterprise?
Yeah.
I would just
No one asked for this.
swap out T'Pol with Mirror T'Pol.
That's hilarious.
And just make her like that the whole time.
Or future T'Pol from, I can't remember the name of it, from that, it's on the tip of my tongue, but from that episode where they're in the future and Archer has amnesia and she's like his caretaker.
Yeah.
'Cause she's really good in that.
Mm-hmm.
She has the same thing Kes does too, where as soon as you give her long hair, she's attractive finally.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have about 9 minutes left.
I'm trying to think.
And I'm sure people would like us to hit more stuff, so we need to get off whatever we're talking about here. What are you gonna say?
We've hit all of the like really good ones.
Oh, okay.
That people have done.
Well, I know there was a ton.
There were a lot, yeah. I wonder if maybe we want to come up with one for each other, but I don't know if I can come up with one.
Oh, one for each other. Well, you're putting me on the spot here.
I know, right?
But I mean, I know there's still probably more stuff there.
You're right.
Let me think for a second. A movie that irritates you, that you would want to change something about. Let me think for a minute.
Yeah.
Nothing's immediately coming to mind. Do you have anything that we haven't already talked about? Because I mean, like we've hit quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing, is we've hit a lot of. I'm trying to think of one that's like kind of like maybe not that you haven't talked about as much on the channel, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay, let's go back to the list then.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll try to think about it, but
Me too. I was like, that's a cool idea, but I can't. Okay, Mutawe, Son of the Mask.
so that is another one of those exceptions to my you can make anything work rule, because you started from such a like uncreative, almost anti-entertainment place with the premise of it. So basically what you're asking me to do with this, and so the obvious answer is you don't do anything that movie does. The obvious answer is you don't make a sequel to a Mask that is somebody else gets the mask who has the same interests as the first protagonist and then his baby gets it. Like, what you're basically asking me to do is give you the one thing that would improve a story about an insufferable, horrible protagonist whose baby puts the mask on. I don't know how to do that. Like,
I gotta watch this movie.
I just wouldn't write that, you know? So the stock answer I always go to with the Mask is you make it in a different genre. You take the risk to make it not the exact same genre even, because the Mask would do different things to different people depending on who puts it on and what their like deepest innermost desires are and what their big like personal hang-ups are, right?
Oh, do you want to make it more like based on the comics?
So you either make it more of a horror thing or you make it a different kind of comedy. And maybe there's inherently always going to be a little bit of slapstick in the Mask, but what you don't do is you don't make it guy obsessed with cartoons again. With this, we gave it to a cartoonist, and then he just does all the stuff that Stanley Ipkiss did because it's cartoons, except like uncreative and horrible. Like you don't do that. You give it to somebody that is as different from Stanley Ipkiss as you could make it.
I didn't realize that's what they did.
Yeah.
That's
like I said, it's just real cynical cash cow where they're trying to make the same movie again, but with a much lesser actor, goes without saying, and with like no budget.
Yeah.
And they also tried to get into the Norse lore a little bit, which was strange.
Weird.
Yeah. Where like they actually bring in Odin and I've talked about this before.
What?
But they do that, and he is played by Bob Hoskins, who thought that he was signing up for a voiceover, and then got really angry when he had to come on to set and put on this like really heavy helmet that was uncomfortable that he didn't want to wear.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, that's awesome. I love Bob Hoskins.
But the real answer is just put it direct to video, and then no one would ever talk about it again. But no, I'm pretty sure that went in the theater.
I can't believe that went in the theater.
Yeah.
It's like I never realized that like Rise of the Silver Surfer went to theater. Like that always just felt like a direct to video kind of movie.
I've got mine for you.
I have mine for you.
Okay, Jumanji.
Jumanji?
Yeah. The original, because I know you don't like that movie.
Yeah.
Is it a
really
premise
funny.
thing? Do you just not care for the notion of that?
No. Well, okay. I like. You know what? It's just.
What is your thing with that? I've only seen it like once. I didn't grow up with that movie, so I don't have opinions right now.
Well, okay.
I remember being kind of indifferent to it.
My thing is, and I think the reason that the 2017  movie works so well is, I don't like, and why
we just watched that again last week. I had a great watch with that.
Yeah, me too. And why I'm not excited for the third one. I don't like things from a fictional thing coming to the real life.
So
I
you're
like
okay
real
going
life
the other way.
coming to the fictional thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll never watch that third Tron movie then?
I guess not.
Do you know about that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
That's the Tron stuff. The video game comes to the real world.
Yeah,
and their
I just don't like
explanation
that.
for it sounds like nonsense. I've still not seen it yet.
I just
but...
don't love that premise.
Okay.
I like going like being sucked into a video game or whatever, and
that sounds like a very personal pet peeve thing.
It is, and I don't really understand it. Like I can't really tell you exactly like my big issue with it. It's just something I don't really I don't know.
Yeah,
so
that's all right.
I would I would also just like I don't know make it funnier. I don't know. It's not funny to me.
What I remembered liking about that movie, now that we're talking about it, is that it did feel dangerous.
Yeah,
I liked that. It felt like there were real stakes. Well, no, I mean in the movie, it felt like there were real stakes.
Sure.
Like it felt when people were supposed to be in danger, it felt like things could kill them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and you make Robin Williams' character just more likable. I think he's kind of insufferable.
Oh, really?
Like, and I love Robin Williams as an actor, but I don't like his character in that.
I need to sit down and watch that again because my memory of it, just the experience I had with it was, it's like his character in Hook if I liked him all through the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that's not what it is.
Yeah, well, and also I haven't seen Hook in forever, so maybe I don't like him in Hook either.
RJ Godzilla, this is going to sound like blasphemy, but I changed the original Jumanji by not casting Robin Williams.
See, I could see...
And he says I also wouldn't have made it a comedy.
Yeah.
And that's fair. Or maybe not make it as comedic. Like,
I would just say they get sucked into the world of Jumanji instead of Jumanji getting sucked into the real world. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why you like
it also just
the newer ones.
It's also just it also just seems bland in comparison to the video game ones because it's just like now there's animals. Like it's not like it looks like the most nothing board game and they
like that universe
that
doesn't seem interesting.
No, it's just elephants and crap. Like
yeah, it seems like the most iconic image from Jumanji is elephant.
Yes. And like it would have been awesome.
I don't know if they know
like,
this, but the real world has that.
It would be great.
It's called Africa.
Yeah. There's also Asia too.
In Asia? Yeah, exactly. I don't know which one. It looks more like an African elephant to me. I'm not totally sure though.
Which is why I haven't seen Zathura, but that seems cooler.
Yeah, I've not seen it either.
I mean, it's probably bad too, but
what I'm picturing though is I feel like what Jason really wants for Jumanji is they go into a board game and literally you can see the giant squares they step on.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it would be cool if it was like Monopoly or something. I don't know.
Dice that come from the sky. You have to dodge them as they land.
I'm trying to
and
think
bounce
of
everywhere.
original board game, like board games that aren't things in real life.
I'm just imagining all these board games that you could get sucked into, and that Jason would be excited to see movies of, like like Trouble. But you get
Trouble.
somebody gets stuck in the bubble in the middle,
I know, yeah.
and then they pop into the person like,
that'd be
and
cool.
then the dice bounce around everywhere. You're trying to dodge it.
No, but like if it was like all the Candyland stuff in real life, like that would be cool.
Well, and there's been
right?
talk of a Candyland movie.
But like it's just animals and like there's like bugs and stuff. Like that's just like I don't know.
Honey, I stuck our kids in trouble.
Okay, so
what's yours to me?
Yours is 2014 Ninja Turtles.
Oh wow! Shrink them down.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, there's tons of other things, obviously. No, you know what the actual answer is to this, and this is gonna sound ridiculous to people, but like that movie is already the cluster whatever that it is. It's already bad. So there was no way that, let's all face it, the approach we took with that movie was based so much in what the Bay Transformers movies looked like. It was that house. That script was never going to be good. Those movies were never going to be made for me. Mm-hmm. So the real answer is I don't get spooked by the fanboys and just let it be what it was going to be. Make them aliens. Just let it be what it was going to be in the first place. Might have been a more interesting failure.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to make everybody happy now. What, in a weird way, except it's not with physical designs. And I'm going to make a point about this in a second that I've never thought about before. This is a little bit like what happened with the Sonic movie when we changed Sonic's design. Where everybody heard the Ninja Turtles are going to be aliens, and they lost their minds on Twitter. And so they sort of pretended like that was just a rumor and it was never real. It was clear that that's what they were going to do. They came from space, they were aliens.
Yeah.
And there were all these changes. Like, it was supposed to be called just Ninja Turtles, like we did with Power Rangers with 2017 later. And all the fanboys complained, and they were like, "Oh my god, no one's gonna go see this movie." Mm-hmm. So we got to put Teenage Mutant back in the title, but they put it like real tiny because they didn't want it there in the first place. And they went, "Well, it can't be aliens because the fans aren't gonna like that." So they went and they read one IDW comic, and then April names the Ninja Turtles because that's what she does in the IDW comics, and it made more money than it would have probably because people appreciated that they made it look relatively more like the Ninja Turtles they knew, even though they were still these like 9-foot tall monstrosities that somehow were still stealthy and nobody could hear them coming.
Yeah.
So it did well enough to warrant a sequel, and then the sequel bombed. I'm going to suggest... and I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody that likes the Sonic movies. And they have gotten progressively better, I will admit that. But I wonder if the turtle designs hadn't been changed to look a lot closer to either 87 or the movie designs.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have had something closer to Sonic where it was like a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Where everybody goes, "Oh my god, it's just like what I remember." You know, even though, like, so much else isn't. And actually, with this, there's still more Turtle stuff than there's Sonic stuff in that first movie.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I've never had that thought before. I wonder about that. But, yeah, if you're working with that last script, you shrink the Turtles down. If not, you just keep aliens.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I think I've seen that movie like.
Eventually another franchise I also don't like. Like, I don't know, you can't make it any worse for me.
Yeah.
Plushie DX, I do wonder that too. Yeah, I never had that thought before.
I should go back to that movie. I know I rewatched the second one recently, maybe a year ago.
Oh, really?
Don't ask me why.
Yeah, why? On your own?
Yeah, well, I think somebody else turned it on, and I was like, whatever, I'll watch this.
That second Turtles movie?
Yeah. Somebody just had it on. I don't remember.
Family is for weaklings!
Yeah. I think it was like a, oh man.
Did I take you to that in the theater?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, child abuse.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
Well, they put a Technodrome in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's something. The Turtle Van thing was kind of fun.
I'm trying
like all the crazy things the Turtle Van did.
Yeah. Now, okay, do you like
Arrow Casey Jones?
Do you like Arrow Casey Jones?
No.
Okay.
That's awful.
No, because I don't like him at all, but
no, they somehow created CW's Casey Jones in the middle of this Ninja Turtles movie.
By just making him literally CW.
A CW superhero, yeah. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Why is he a cop? That's what, like, it's not just that they cast Steve Amell. It's that they gave him they gave him the job, they gave him the occupation that a CW Casey Jones would have had.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's exactly what they would have done. Do you remember the funniest thing about Casey Jones?
No.
He puts on a hockey mask and his voice is obscured.
Yes. Yep.
That's so good. He's got big open holes in the front, but he puts on a hockey mask and he talks like that. It makes no sense.
Yep.
It's fantastic. Okay. Well, that's probably going to do it for us tonight. We're already past 2 hours. So if we didn't get to yours, apologies. But I think we did a pretty good number of them.
Yeah.
It was weird how many different franchises we had to jump to.
You know, Dad,
that was quite an exercise.
It was a pretty exciting round. Fix this movie.
No, we should do this again.
Yeah.
I do feel like we may have to make a list of the ones we've done already.
Yeah.
And maybe include it in the description for the next one when we get to that. Because we probably won't do it for like 6 months or a year.
Probably.
Like, this isn't a thing I'll do all the time.
Yeah.
And we won't remember which ones we did. So I don't want to like rehash too much.
Right.
But I guess we could come in and try to do this for another medium since we did almost exclusively movies.
Yeah,
like we did Lost, then you and I ran off on our own and did Enterprise, but like,
and we did Discovery.
Oh, that's true. Okay, that's true.
We did the Clone Saga, but that was about it.
Oh, well, that's cool. We hit all three mediums then. Well, and people asked me to do One More Day, and I can throw that out real quick and say that's very simple. You just have Spider-Man make the correct choice, which is let Aunt May die, and I mean that sounds awful, but like. That versus your wife doesn't know who you are. Like, yeah, that wasn't. He shouldn't make a deal with the devil anyway. But it's all a moot point because you're asking me to change a story that only exists to force a status quo change.
Yeah.
So there is no story.
Yeah.
That he does what he does because Joe Quesada decided that's what's going to happen now in Marvel. So you're stuck with it if that story is going to exist.
Yeah.
It's not like JMS wanted to write that. RJ Godzilla make this whole series Cap and Son fix entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, and I've threatened doing pitches for franchises for years. And I still might eventually do that, which would be, obviously a different thing. So it wouldn't be like repitch a movie. It would be take your stab at a franchise. So like I've always kind of wanted to do like my Captain Planet and my whatever it is.
Space Ghost.
And Spawn. I would almost love. I don't know if anybody would watch it, but given my history with Spawn, I would almost like to sit down and do like a really elaborate multi-issue pitch for Spawn. Where like I actually lay out what my series would be.
Yeah. Now, do you want to do like on the spot pitches, or do you want to like come up with pitches? And
This is really the reason I haven't started this yet. is I haven't decided. I think it would probably go better if I had a plan coming into it.
It'd be fun if we both came up with a list for each other to do pitches. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
But also the idea of sitting down and having to come up with something on the spot when people throw stuff at you might be interesting. It's just you might have some shows that go better than others.
Right.
Is it like you spend a whole hour or 2 hours on stream on one pitch and you don't know what you're going to do coming into it, where you come in and somebody goes, okay, here's your franchise, and like you or several people say things and then you pick from that list, but you don't pick until you go live,
Yeah.
and then you have to sit here and just be as creative as you possibly can.
Yeah.
I'd be more likely to do it with you, like with a co-host,
Yeah.
where I could like bounce ideas off of somebody.
Yeah. Now, depending on the thing, I might not be good for that, but
Well, but you could at least help me keep my continuity straight.
right.
You'd be like, well, no, that goes against this thing you said earlier, or you said that already, or you could at least be like a keeper of continuity, even if you weren't adding to the pitch. But I'm just saying, having another person to throw it at as opposed to being on my own, I feel like it would probably go better.
No, it would.
Maybe we should finally, at some point, it won't be next week, but maybe at some point we should test the waters for this on this show, because I've thought about doing it as its own series, but I've got enough regular series right now. I can't really add one, so maybe it makes sense as just being a semi-regular segment on the Captain Logan show.
Yeah.
Where it's like once every 8 weeks you do one or something.
Yeah.
That's a notion. Nicholas Bodo, Cap writing Spawn feels right on. I gotta tell you guys, and then we'll get going. I always do this. I'm always like, bye, and then I'm like, oh, I'm still talking. I don't know why. I've really been in a Spawn mood lately. It feels like having nostalgia for your kidnapper or something, but you'd think that I would never want to go back and look at that material. I've been buying it up pretty hard. I've got, for folks that don't know, I sold my whole collection years ago, and I rebought up the first 6 compendiums, so that's up through issue 300. And then the 7th compendium just came out a few months ago, and they had it on sale on Amazon for half off. So that's a $60 book. It was on sale for $33. And so in case for some reason you want that, it's real cheap right now. So I finally pulled the trigger on that. And so I'm up through 350. And you guys are going to think I'm nuts, but I actually started going back and reading some the other day. I went from where I left off in Spawn Year 12 years ago, and I had never read 221 and on. We ended in 220 there, and I was like, am I going to go back and try to skim through everything that I haven't looked at in a long time? And I was like, I mean, obviously I'm not fresh on it, but I was like, well, that about killed me when I did it the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of curious to see what happens next.
Yeah.
So I read the next 5 issues, and just like everything or a lot of what I did in Spawn Year, it was about an issue's worth of story. And McFarlane cannot write dialogue, but there's interesting stuff in it. I had this epiphany with it that maybe I'll talk about this some more tomorrow night on the comic show. I had this epiphany with it, and I think maybe I told you about this, Jason. The Jim Downing stuff, that period with Simon Kurdansky drawing, it's McFarlane having this period where he's done with, and he comes back to it later, he's done with splashy superhero comics, and he goes, I want to write a conspiracy narrative drama, and I'm going to turn Spawn into X-Files. That's what it is. And I don't know if I said that in Spawn Year. I don't think I did, but I think I had kind of this new epiphany with it. Oh, this is the X-Files now, because there's this big government conspiracy that explains all the supernatural stuff that's not about heaven or hell in it, where there's this underground project that explains where everybody comes from. Overkill, Tremor, Cygor, all of them. Anyway. Well, folks, thanks for watching. We sure appreciate it, and we'll see you again next week. We will probably review that new Michael Jackson movie in some capacity, whether it's the whole show or not. And tomorrow night, Comic Book Late Night Unlimited. On Friday, Austin and I, for Rewind, are doing Iron Man 2. So join us for that. And in the meantime, I was Captain Logan, and this was Jason. See you later, folks. Goodbye, everybody. Oh, I don't have any music up, Jason.
You gotta play Blue Spheres.
Yeah, I messed this up. Is it still here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll just play Blue Spheres. Okay. Good night, everybody.